V.S. Parthasarathy, CFO, M&M, joins us right now on the show. Mr. Parthasarathy, good having you. Thanks so much for joining in. And thanks for waiting by patiently, sir. Just a couple of issues because of the rains, but now we've it all sorted. We have your feed completely fine. What is your thought on what it means for a company like M&M, which is largely domestic centric, but has this big exposure to the global footprint via, I mean, of course, it's a routine course of business and Tech Mahindra as well.
Thank you. Happy to be on the show. One of the big things that has happened is an event which was kind of looming large. The uncertainty has gone away. Now we know where we stand as far as the Bremen versus Brexit is concerned, and that itself is a good news, partially because we know where we stand. For the Indian industry and more specifically for M&M, the impact, like for the emerging market, will be muted. There will be some parts which will be exposed, but overall it seems quite okay. Let me give an example for M&M. Like for example, one of the exposures which we'll have is for the current business. Is it unhedged or hedged? If you have an unhedged position totally, then the sudden change in the currency will impact. But fortunately for us, most of the financial year forex trade is hedged, especially for the UK. So therefore the impact, if any, will be marginal, and I think will be offset in some sense by the dollar strengthening over the same period of time. Overall, I think there is an opportunity and we must be prepared, not just M&M which is prepared, we must be prepared to take care of any opportunities this situation presents. So I'm quite not optimistic, but I'm quite comfortable that we will be able to take care of opportunity. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying your answer seems to suggest that you think of this predominantly as a currency impact and nothing beyond that. What about trade? Could that have an impact? IT companies or auto companies which have got exposure to this region, maybe not M&M as much, but some of the others?
Yeah. So yes, there is a second part of the impact, which is the business and the confidence impact. So we cannot wish it away that there will be no impact. There will be some impact. Yeah. There will be some impact on the uncertainty which prevails. Decisions may take a little longer than what it took, and we still have the big known unknown of what the terms of exit will be. So that we will have to wait and watch. All this will lead for a little bit more of uncertain environment, and therefore companies in the emerging market, which has always been able to navigate uncharted territory and troubled waters, will stand us in good stead, and that's the positiveness, and that's the where the confidence is coming for a group like Mahindra, that the resilience that we have demonstrated even in the past few years should stand us in good stead, and which should be able to look at it as an opportunity. But yes, there will be certain amount of slowdown and certain amount of changes which will happen due to uncertainty, but that's what throws up opportunities as well.
Okay. Now, Mr. Parthasarathy, you did mention about the impact, the currency impact rather, and if you can talk about or tell us about what are the kind of components that you import from EU as well as UK, and will the volatile currency impact your business operations?
That's in a sense we do import something, okay, yeah, from Europe and from lesser from UK than in Europe, and we do export. So in a sense our portfolio from an M&M as a standalone company's point of view is fairly matched. So we don't see much of an impact there. When it comes to some of the group companies, they may have varying kind of impact, most of which overall put together is muted, as I said. Just somebody asked about CIE and Mahindra CIE. For example, CIE is a company headquartered in Europe, so it will be a local trade which will have, and while overall demand supply may have an impact, but currency per se may not have too much of an impact there. So I would say we are okay.
Just the other question, we've been discussing Brexit non-stop for the last 4 days. I think what we tried to address a little bit on ET now is that in that wake, the advent of, and the rather not the advent really, but the progress of monsoon took a bit of a backseat. What are you hearing? Because you obviously have a keener ear to the ground than most others when it comes to monsoon. What are you hearing? Because over the weekend we also heard that while yes, it's been pouring in Bombay and a few other pockets, Deccan has been bereft of good monsoon, and that kills any kind of positives because of the progress. What is your thought out here?
Yeah. So the first one is that you rightly said that it took some bit of challenge to set up this communication link because of rain. To me, it's not bad news, it's very good news. So that's pouring in Mumbai, and that was required as well. Monsoon was not soon enough. So to that extent, it did create a problem because it started a week late. But overall put together, I think the deficit is getting cut down from the earlier deficit, which I was seeing on a higher level. It's coming down, and I'm very hopeful that the prediction of both the agencies are looking towards a much better July than what June was, and that should kind of make up for any shortfall. I see monsoon at a ground level to be okay. Some parts will always have more rain and some will have less, but hopefully over a period of time all of them will get covered, is the thing. So I'm just saying as of now things are on par as far as monsoon is concerned. That's what I hear at the ground level.
Sure, and since you're so optimistic, would want to know what is the kind of tractor sales growth that you would be expecting in FY17?
I hope that it will be more than what I have planned and what I expect, but more than that, it's not fair for the CFO to comment on how it done. I would see the industry, as they said, about 10% to 12% kind of growth is what they are predicting, the industry TMA, which is the Tractor Manufacturing Association, and I hope that Mahindra will grow at the same rate, if not higher, in the immediate next 2 or 3 quarters.
Okay, so just before we thank you, Mr. Parthasarathy, I know you gave a detailed answer, but in a nutshell, for somebody who's joining right now and wanting to keenly want that answer from you, are you as a company satisfied with the progress of monsoon until now? It's too early to call, but the beginning, are you satisfied?
Yeah, it is a little delayed, but we think the monsoon is on par and right on course. Yeah, after the little bit of delay.
That's a very important voice speaking on what is arguably the most important monitorable for India. And Mr. Parthasarathy, so good of you to join us, and thank you so much for waiting patiently while we're just trying to patch that line as well. Much appreciate you taking the time out.
Thank you so much.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.